my name is Vincent from Airgunseurope.com, and in this video I'd love to show you some different ways on how you can fill up your PCP rifle. Now, when buying a PCP rifle, you would also have to consider how you would end up wanting to fill it. There's about 3 ways you can fill a PCP rifle. The cheapest version of it is a hand pump, which works pretty well, especially with the smaller cylinders going up to 200 bar. There are different types of pumps, of course. This one from Gamma is basically a Chinese pump. A better option would be, to my opinion, this one, which is from Hatsan. Now, a big difference between this one and a cheaper Chinese pump is that the Hatsan pump contains moisture filters, and yeah, like I said, you don't want to have any moisture inside of your PCP rifle because you would end up having leaks and stuff. So this is a pretty good pump. It's really solid, contains a meter. There's always a bleed button on there, so you can degas the hose after you're done pumping. But if you would want to buy one of these pumps or the other, you would also have to check what type of air rifle you have and how big is the cylinder. For example, if you would want to buy, or you have quite a common cylinder like this Hatsan has, this is a cylinder you can put up the pressure to 200 bar, contains 255 cc's of air, and the operating pressure is between 100 and 200 bar. So if you would fill it all the way up to 200 bar, you will shoot it back to 100 bar. That's its operational pressure. So you would shoot it halfway empty, and to fill it up again, you would have to pump in this cylinder around 125 cc's of air. Now, if you would take this air rifle and it's at 100 bar and you would use a pump to get it all the way up to 200 bars again, you would end up making around 130 strokes with a hand pump, costing you around 4.5 minutes. Of course, it's quite heavily, especially if you would want to go up from 180 above, then you would have to put in your full weight, but it's easily doable. But it all depends on how often you would want to shoot. Pumps that work pretty well, but not on every type of air rifle. For example, if you would have a PCP rifle like the one I have over here, this is the FX Maverick. Now, this one hasn't got a fill pressure of 200 bar, but this one has a fill pressure of 250 bar, and also the cylinder is around twice the size of the Hatsan one. So if you would want to use a hand pump for this, yeah, you would probably end up having a real stroke, so you don't want to do that. And also, most pumps, they only go all the way up to 200 bar, and this has 250 bar, so you can't fill it all the way to its maximum fill pressure. So for this, people more often use like a diver's bottle or an air cylinder, like the one I have over here. Now, this is a 7-liter air cylinder, and it holds 300 bar of pressure. So there's an overpressure of 50 bars, and you can have a few really good fills with this one on an FX Maverick. Of course, you won't hold the 300 pressure all the way, and it will run down. So the first ones, you would have to watch out not to open it all the way, because otherwise the pressure will go over the 250 bar. But you can have a few really good fills with it. The disadvantage about a diver's bottle is, however, that you would have to fill it all the way up back again as soon as it gets empty. Over here in the Netherlands, there are lots and lots of dive shops where you can fill your diver's bottle, costing around 4 to 5 euros, so that's easily doable, but you would always have to take the bottle somewhere. Another option is like a compressor, or like the small electric pump from Ram. It's a pretty nice device. You could fill an air rifle with this one. You could use this to fill smaller bottles. This is one of the best compressors we have, the Hill. Also, the Ram compressor is a pretty cool machine. It's easily, it works pretty simple actually. I will be giving you some close-up on how to operate this compressor. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, on every hand pump there's always a way to degas the hose or to bleed it. It's the same with the connector which comes on the diver's bottle or air cylinder. There's a meter on there, and there's a button which you can push to degas the hose. It's the same with the small electric pump from Ram. It's over here, the bleed. You would have to close it when you would turn it on, and of course you would have to open it to degas the hose once you're done. Now, over here on the hose, there's a moisture filter in there as well. this is a female Foster connection, so it's really easy. You can just click it on like that. Now over here there are two buttons. One says compressor, which you push to turn it on, but before you do that you would have to push fan. There's a ventilator inside of this machine. 5 minutes before you use it, you turn that on. You keep it on when you would turn on the compressor, and afterwards when it's full it stops, the compressor stops, and you would keep the fan running for another 5 minutes to cool it down. Otherwise you can end up burning or overheating the circuit, breaking it of course. Over here there's a needle on which you can set the pressure. So over here you can put on the maximum pressure you would want to fill your air rifle with. Alright, before I put on the fan already, so it is cooled down at the moment. There is a Foster connection on this end as well, which the FX has too, so you would always, it's really easy like that. Alright, now first of all I put on the fan. Makes a lot of noise, so yeah. You would always have to keep on the fan when using the compressor, and then put on compressor. Right, so I kept the fan on for another 5 minutes. When the compressor stops, you could always use your air rifle again, but just don't forget to degas the hose by turning up the bleed. Right, now all the pressure is coming out of the hose. You can simply disconnect it, and then of course you're ready to take your air rifle outside and go shoot. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, but I hope this was pretty clear to you. And thanks again for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.